Okay, welcome to week 9 of the Big Gun Preview Year 2. This is really the week we need to see more playoff pushes and see the people kind of fade out of the playoff picture as well.
This is going to be an interesting week because there are some really great matchups.
And one of the first ones we're going to look at is Tuscaloosa Balls over here versus the Po Boys. The Balls are at 6-2. The Po Boys are at 4-4. And the Balls are really at the same point this year as they were last year. And this orange juggernaut is led by the ex-Boilermaker Drew Brees. However, this week Brees is facing the top-ranked pass defense in the Carolina Panthers. The Balls are going to need to fight through other tough matchups as well. Roddy White faces the Redskins' second-ranked pass defense, and Cedric Benson faces the fourth-ranked Ravens' rush defense. Chris Johnson also is facing a tough rush defense in the second-ranked rush defense of the San Francisco 49ers. So it is going to be a tough week if the Balls are looking to move to 7-2. The Po Boys look to continue their playoff push on the shoulders of both Donovan McNabb and Brandon Jacobs. McNabb faces a porous Cowboys pass defense, and Jacobs tangles with the bottom 5 rush defense of the San Diego Chargers. Vincent Jackson does look to continue to stay hot for the Po Boys, and the key matchup, though, may be Ronnie Brown against the New England Patriots. The Patriots, coming off a bye, are going to be very, very rested. Brown is projected to put up 23 points. If he's successful early in the Wildcat, he's going to get a lot of points per carry, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I see the Balls moving to 7-2 at this point. The Po Boys moving down a little bit, closer to me at the bottom to 4-5. Probably the kiss of death for you, but we'll see what happens.
Oh no, you picked me last week and I did win.
Good point.
So, you know, that's quite a detailed observation.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
My first game is the Bourbon Boys against the T-Town Terror.
Go T-Town.
Now, let's take a look. First of all, the Bourbon Boys. This is the battle of last place, okay? The Bourbon Boys, you have scored fewer points than anybody in the entire league. That won't change after this week. First of all, you still own Chris Cooley. Now, I know your brother has a man crush on Chris Cooley, and I know his wife is hot, but you're not your brother's keeper, okay? You can drop him. He's out. And if you keep Chris Cooley, you're going to be in last place for the 3rd year in a row next year. All right? So, first of all, this is a battle of the have-nots, but I see you having more and Bourbon Boys having less.
That's the best of the bad.
That's exactly right. First of all, you get Carson Palmer, Dwayne Bowe, and Randy Moss back this week, so that's a big boost. All those people will get good numbers. You're replacing people that didn't quite perform up to par. Mario Manningham, Pierre Garçon. Those people are definitely replaceable, and I'm sure you're happy to see those people back. You have also a great matchup with Carson Palmer against the 19th ranked Baltimore pass defense. Remember, we talked about the rush defense earlier, but the pass defense not quite as good. They still have Ed Reed back there. But the receiving core from the Bengals is pretty stout with Ocho Cinco, and now with Andre Caldwell, and of course the all-reliable Lavernius Coles. I do like Maurice Jones-Drew against the 25th ranked Kansas City rush defense. We'll talk a little bit more about him. But in the end, I like the T-Town Terror to move to 3-6.
Guess what?
And the Bourbon Boys to 2-7.
That rearview mirror, that's me back there.
Your running backs, by the way, other than Maurice Jones-Drew, you're going to have to play Tim Hightower and Cadillac Williams. That's not really the upper echelon of starting running backs.
It's not even really the middle echelon. Okay, let's move on to the Bourbon Boys' brother, Amos, in Capital Punishment versus the world champion Yankees. Congratulations to the team formerly known as the Ass Woman Clique after the Los Angeles Lakers and the Yankees.
The Ass Woman Clique.
That was not said. It was the Ass Whooping Clique. I will enunciate better. This game is very pivotal for the playoff hopes of both teams. Will the newly crowned Yankees continue their climb towards a bye? And also, will the Capital Punishment continue to slide toward the bottom of the league? The world champion Yankees play Aaron Rodgers, who is a bit hobbled and maybe coming off a little bit of a hangover after a big game against Brett Favre and the Minnesota Vikings. But I still think he's solid to put up between 40 and 50 against Tampa Bay. Big game for Clinton Portis against the Falcons. They certainly can't throw the ball, the Redskins, so they're going to have to run the ball. Foresee him getting 20-25 carries. If he gets in the end zone once, maybe even twice, we're thinking a possible 40-point day. Big questions, though, about D'Angelo Williams. New Orleans is only 11th against the run, but are the Panthers going to be so far behind that they're having to attempt to throw the ball around? It's possible D'Angelo just kind of gets relegated to a role of wide receiver or blocking back, or maybe even out of the game for Jonathan Stewart at some point. Dallas Clark could also be a difference. He's kind of been a little bit under the radar lately. Look for him to have a big game. Punishment, you're only starting 2 running backs this week. That's kind of hard to figure out in this league at a point per carry why you would not try to find a third running back to go. Actually, he's only starting 1.5 running backs, I'm sorry, because one of his running backs is Lawrence Maroney, who could get hurt at any point or could get yanked by Bill Belichick. Schaub at Indy is going to have a huge game for the punishment to stay competitive. Honestly, there's not too much left to say about capital punishment. I think they drop back to 500, back to 4-4-1, and they continue their plummet out of the playoffs.
I will say I do like the Matt Schaub matchup at Indy because they're going to have to score a ton of points. By the way, Peyton Manning and the Colts are hosting the Texans, who have only the 14th ranked pass defense. Now that's obviously in the top half, but do you really think Peyton Manning is going to have anything less than a stellar day against somebody like the Texans at home?
You're right. And
so it's going to have Schaub's going to get the choking a lot. So it's going to be a lot of points for Schaub. In our other matchup, or in the fourth matchup, I've got Dim Dam Dogs against Kamikaze Dynasty. To be honest with you, there's not much to say. Damn, you're going to lose. I'm sorry. You have Adrian Peterson on a bye. The rest of your team is not Adrian Peterson. Noshawn Marino is playing the top rushing defense. They do have them at home, and it's on Monday night. It's on Monday Night Football. But I don't see the Steelers being fazed by this, and the Steelers are going to shut Noshawn down.
Off a bye week, they should be healthy.
That's exactly right. They're going to be really tough. The other thing is you have Tony Romo at Philly. There's really not a whole lot of defensive units playing a lot better than Philly right now, especially from a fantasy standpoint, which means picks for Romo. In the end, Pierre Thomas, Frank Gore have pretty good matchups, and those are 2 running backs that are playing very well right now. Kamikaze Dynasty starts to emerge as more of a true playoff contender, and Kamikaze Dynasty, you'll move to 5-4 this week after an easy win over Dim Dam Dogs.